So welcome everyone. We have a great interview by David, all the way from Kenya, Africa. So welcome, David.
Thank you very much, Dr. Berg.
Amazing story. Can you tell me a little bit about, I saw pictures of you when you were a kid, you were overweight. Your whole family, I think, was overweight. Yeah.
Well, I grew up knowing myself I'm overweight, so it's not like something that I knew I was gaining weight or anything, but I was just big ever since childhood. So for me, that's all I know.
So I have a question. In your school, were other kids overweight too, or were you pretty much one of the only ones that was overweight?
I think I was pretty much the only one overweight.
Okay, because I think is it rare to have a lot of overweight people in your country?
There are so many people who are overweight in my country currently. The number is increasing. We are the next American obesity problem. So many people are overweight in this country. Yeah.
So has the food changed in the last years from the original food that you would eat?
We tend to eat. Personally, my food has changed. But if you look at the common meals that we have on our tables, it's about a lot of corn flour. We call it ugali. It's a mixture of corn flour and water, and a lot of wheat products. And if you look at the portions, carbohydrates are maybe 70%. You get 20 to 25% proteins and 5% maybe fats and vegetables, but we don't eat a lot of proteins.
Interesting. Now, the quality of corn and wheat grown in your country, is it GMO? Do they have the genetically modified come in yet?
No. We don't have any GMOs in the country yet.
Okay.
No, we don't have.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So here you're going along, because I saw you were actually on a TV show, I think, right? I think I saw a video of you.
Yes, that's where my weight loss journey started.
So tell me a little bit about how you came across some things to help you lose weight, and was that successful initially, and then what did you do eventually?
Well, like you saw, the TV show was the beginning of my weight loss journey, and it was a bit erratic. It was a 3-month program, so we were doing things hurriedly, and we were not being taught the right way. It was just competition, just like America's Biggest Loser. So we were not being taught the right thing. So I lost a lot of weight, about 34 kilos, but I gained 14 of those. Almost immediately, I stopped working out and the weight just crept back in. And then I started using Google, and there was Dr. Berg talking about keto. That was in 2015. I never started immediately. For 1 year, I was researching keto the whole of 2015, and I've listened to all your videos since then, and I started keto in 2016. So from 2016 to date, in total, I've lost 56 kilos. Yes, I was initially 168 kilos. So
wow.
It's been quite a good journey.
So how much do you weigh in pounds right now?
Okay, I don't know how to calculate in pounds, but I weigh 118 kilos.
Okay.
I weighed yesterday. Actually, I've added 2 kilos, so I've been having a cold. I don't know how that works.
Boy, even your face looks so different. That's amazing. You did really, really good. Can you tell me?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Can you tell me a little bit about what you eat now, and if you're doing intermittent fasting, or are you just doing ketogenic?
No, I'm doing intermittent fasting. My eating window is 6 hours. So I start my meals at about 11, and I would do bulletproof coffee. This is 1 tablespoon butter, MCT oil, and in about 2 to 3 hours, I will do. I like doing 4 eggs. I just want to be like you, man. So I will do 4 eggs and French beans. These are green beans, and of course cooked in butter. And about another 2 hours, my last meal would be roast goat meat with soup, about 200 grams with soup. And because I don't trust the source of our vegetables so much, I opt for a supplement, spirulina, and one called Green Power. We get it from South Africa, so it's spirulina with chlorophyll or something. What do you call it?
Interesting, interesting.
And sea kelp, yeah.
And sea kelp. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Are the soils? I'm always curious. Are the soils volcanic from volcanoes? Do you have good soil in Kenya?
Yes, we do. We do have good soils in Kenya. If you're farming, or if you can trace your food, definitely we have very good soils. We have very good foods. But even in the news, we've had people complaining of fast ripening of, say, avocados, or they're using chemicals to make them look fresh for longer.
Okay.
Because access to markets is a bit of a challenge.
Okay. Have you thought about having your own garden?
With the fast life in Nairobi, it's very difficult, but I do grow some herbs. Oregano, thyme, and the likes.
I saw a picture of you with coffee or something. Was that you with coffee? What were you doing with coffee? Beans?
Yes, I trade in coffee. I do exports, and I do roast coffee. That's my main line of business. So yeah.
So you drink your own coffee then?
Oh yes, I drink my own roast.
Is it Kenya coffee?
Yes, Kenyan coffee, Arabica AA.
And is it? Do you have places where it's organic there or without chemicals?
I do practice organic. I do single origin and organic. So I from farm to my cup, I'm sure it's 100% organic.
Wow, that's fascinating, because I guess Kenya coffee it's pretty popular in the U.S. I mean, it's always curious.
Oh, yes.
So you guys have, in Africa, I noticed that the jawbone, the teeth are very, very are perfect. I think that has to do with the soils, I'm guessing, because you guys have a lot of trace minerals in your soils. In America, we have a lot of cavities, and we go to the dentist. Do people have? Do you guys have a lot of people that go to the dentist in Kenya?
Well, the current generation, I can say,
Okay.
we are really we are seeing the dentists more. You see, the lifestyle that we're living currently is not as good as our forefathers. We are not more the organic food. If you find a family having maybe sweet potatoes or traditional vegetables, it's very, very hard. People have pizza. Hey, we have Pizza Hut, we have McDonald's, so everybody is heading to that direction, and it's more of a lifestyle. So I see the trend is increasingly becoming popular. I mean, Domino's just opened the other day, and it's always full, packed. KFC just opened the other day, and the same thing. So it's going to be crazy in a few years.
Yeah, diabetes.
Oh yes, the diabetes cases are on the rise. I try to talk to doctors to know what's happening, to just consult, and cases of diabetes are really, really on the rise.
Wow.
And also cancer.
That's terrible. I think you had a picture too of your sister. Did she lose some weight too?
Wow, my sister has lost about 60 kilos.
Wow.
That photo, she was 120, and she started a bit earlier than me in weight reduction. She's our last born in 1991. So she started her weight loss journey way before me. So currently she weighs about 64, and she wants to lose another 4 kilos.
Wow, that's awesome. And are people looking at you like, wow, it's amazing. Do you get compliments or people that knew you before? Are they saying anything about you?
Oh yes, I do get compliments, and to many I also confuse them. They're like, they're not sure if it's me or not. So yeah, and it feels good. It feels good.
That's fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
well done. I was amazed at your before and afters because some of the pictures that you showed me were just like, that's you? That's amazing. So you did very well. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the interview, and I just I hope that it'll give a lot of people a chance to give them hope that they can also do it as well.
Well, one, there is nothing like genetics. I think I shared my brother's pictures. My brother, my sister, we are all big. We believe that this is the way we are. So one, there's nothing like that. You just have to understand your body. Take time. There's no rush. And when you're deciding on a diet, because there's loads and loads of information on the internet, stick to one. I decided to stick to Dr. Berg, and I'm happy with the results. And I really want to continue working with you and hit my target of 98 kilos. I need to lose another 20.
Absolutely. And I think you did have a couple questions, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's answer those.
Well, currently the way I diet and exercise, I normally diet for 3 months strictly without hitting the gym. Then I would do both for 3 months, the gym and dieting. And I find it a bit odd because my trainers keep on telling me, no, you can't just leave the gym and go away and come back after 3 months. Is that right? Is it a right thing to do? Is it a good cycle?
Okay, so that's a really good question. Let's talk about that. If you, I think a better cycle that you may want to try is working out 1 or 2 times a week, because that gives you a chance to break your body and get a full recovery, especially even at your age or even my age. Like every day is probably way too much. Every other day might be okay, but sometimes 2 times a week, or for some people, especially if they're under stress, once a week. And I'm talking like, if you do 2 or once a week and it's a hardcore workout and you let your body fully recover, the gains will be huge. I had one person, they were doing 4 times a week. I switched them to 1, and that's when they started seeing major improvements. So the key is the recovery, how well your recovery. But I think probably every 3 months might be a little too long as far as waiting. But keep it consistent and then switch it up. Like you have a different workout, so because what happens, training decreases growth hormones. So your body adapts to one thing and then you stop getting the improvements. So you do have to keep it altered and changed so your body doesn't adapt completely, and then it's all of a sudden it's used to this thing where you limit off you maximize your wins. So you have to keep constantly change things.
Oh, beautiful. Because I do a lot of HIIT and CrossFit. I love CrossFit.
Wow,
so,
that's the ultimate workout. If you could do that, that's amazing.
Thank you. My other question was OMID, 1 meal a day. Because Sometimes I find myself I'm just doing one meal a day and I'm not hungry at all. So I don't know if this is the adaptation or, but the one meal would be like 800 calories, you know.
Yeah. If you could squeeze out another 100 or 2 calories in there of high quality food and try to figure out what kind of greens that you can eat, because there's quite a few of my clients that do one meal a day and they're super healthy. They're not showing any signs of nutritional deficiencies. It's a little bit more difficult because of the nutrients that you would have to get in that one meal. But your body adapts and you're basically living off your own fat. And a lot of people do fine on one meal a day. So I think it's a good thing, especially for those people who have slow thyroids and that have a lot of weight to lose. I think you should go for it. But I think you need to get a garden and just try to find some type of vegetables to stick in there. And I think that would just put the icing on the cake. Well, maybe I shouldn't talk about cake, but, you know.
Hey, there's almond cake, so you're right.
Okay, good.
All right. Another thing is that I have a problem with my hip. Like I love doing the HIIT on a treadmill. Say I would sprint at 16 kilometers per hour for 30 seconds, then jog at half the speed for about a minute, then walk. So when I'm done with the workout, after some time, I start feeling the inflammation on my hip. Is this something related to weight, or am I giving my hip a lot of work?
Is it the right hip or the left hip?
The left hip.
Left hip. Have you had any injury to the hip or falling on your butt at one time?
Oh yes, I have. I had an injury back in 1998 that affected my knee and a bit on my hip. I just fell on my butt.
Okay. Yeah, what happens, usually the hip joint is from an injury that you fall on one side of the butt and you jam the body and the hips start becoming out of balance. So the best thing to do is to get an x-ray and look at your hips, the level of the hips. Draw a line on the x-ray and see what hip is lowered, okay? If you have a lower hip on one side, you can put a little tiny heel lift on that side to raise the hip up. Or I don't know if you have chiropractors in Kenya, maybe you do.
We do.
But they can probably align that because it's usually going to be an alignment problem. I did produce a video on hip pain that you can do massage on the opposite hip, on the right hip. So if it's on the left, you work on the right side. And I walk people through that. If you search that, if you can't find it, let me know and I'll help you find it. But it's how to fix hip pain. You work on the opposite side. But it sounds to me, you also had a knee pain, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I would do the knee technique that I have online too. That will help balance you. It's just, I think for you, it's going to be a matter of keeping the symmetry there. Because as soon as you push it, you might blow out on that weak link. So you need to make your body symmetrical. If you find a really good chiropractor that can muscle test and check the range of motion on your hip, left and right, and find out if there's any restrictions in pushing your leg too high or too low or back or forward or out or internal, external rotation, you're going to find some motion that you can't go into, and then you work on that to make your left and right side balance, and then I think you won't have a problem anymore.
Interesting. I'll look into that. I'll definitely see a doctor. Beautiful. Now, does it matter in the kinds of food? Like we are limited to certain kinds of food locally. Our bacon, for instance, we have only 1 or 2 producers in the country. So I saw the labels and I see MSG, I see dextrose. So on keto, these are some of the staples, if I may say. So would it be right to stick to a certain group of foods, say eggs every day, maybe meat twice a week, chicken twice a week, and of course vegetables, which I don't trust so much, and multivitamins to take care of the vegetable part?
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, you're gonna just switch your protein to something that is non-toxic, doesn't have MSG, doesn't have hidden sugars, and you just have to see what's available. I mean, you could live on eggs. Eggs, one of the most complete protein. As far as the vitamins you take, really make sure, and you might be already doing this, that they're not synthetic, that they're food-based, because you don't want to take synthetic vitamins ever, unless you're doing a cleanse, a detox. And yeah, so that's totally fine too. I think the meats that you have are going to be fine. But yeah, it is a challenge to try to find the quality that you need in certain areas of the world, unfortunately.
I know.
You can find the quality coffee, but what about the other foods? Yeah.
But what's your thoughts on the bulletproof coffee? Because
I just did a video on it. I have no problem with it. Most people can do fine with that. On some people, it can stimulate insulin a little bit because they're doing the fat, which is fine. But I think it's a good transition for people. And I think some people feel really good on it. But some people need to avoid it just because it might slow down their weight loss a little bit. So I just have them do a little cream in the coffee, and not the bulletproof. And then they start losing weight more. So I just have them experiment on it and see if they can, what works for them. But it really depends on your metabolism.
Oh, beautiful. Last question, leaky gut. I heard you were live a few hours ago, and you're talking about vitamin C and leaky gut and collagen. It was a bit static, so I wanted to know more about the leaky gut. How would I know if I have a leaky gut?
Do you have a lot of food allergies?
No, zero.
Do you have any bloating or constipation?
No, I used to have constipation, but it's all gone.
I think you don't have leaky gut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They just have a lot of pain and bloating and constipation and irritation in their colon, and they also have problems with food allergies. So if you don't have that, chances are you don't have to worry about it.
All right. And we would really love to have your products here in Kenya, especially the green juice. I mean, I'm really looking forward to get it online. So,
yeah, I know. That's one thing we'll have to look at, because there's a wheatgrass juice powder that's really, really good. But yeah, I know. I'm working on that.
Yeah, because I think I mentioned it to you before. I have quite a following, especially on Facebook, and people are looking up to me. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, but all bodies are the same. I keep on telling them, and I'd love to work with you and bring back the experience back home.
Absolutely. Question: is Amazon Go to Kenya? Do they?
Yes, we use, there's a site we use to buy things on Amazon. It's called Mall for Africa, so we can readily buy.
Okay, maybe I'll check that out. Yeah, that's awesome. I think we need people like you that spread the word in areas of the country that they're going to start getting fatter and fatter like the Americans. So you can help people. So that's awesome.
Thank you very much. I look forward to working with you on this.
Awesome. Well, thank you, David. I appreciate the interview. You've done really well.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Have a nice day.
All right.